Hey guys, welcome back to Young and Unscripted. So today we are back with our girl talks, which we're very excited for. Yeah, we love them, and you guys seem to love them as well. It's definitely our best rated, our most viewed videos,
and we love doing them as well. So we were like, let's just do another one. And you guys are sending in some very interesting ones this time. So yeah, we're looking forward to
answering them.
Should we just get straight into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm talking to a guy I really like, but I'm always the one initiating texts. I don't want to come off as too eager, but I also don't want to seem disinterested. Should I stop texting first and see if he reaches out, or keep doing it to keep the conversation going?
Okay. First thoughts. If he wanted to, he would.
Yeah. So
Not
true.
saying, like, I mean, he's texting you back, but I would need to know, like, in terms of you, are you always popping up to his story and stuff? And like constantly, like, and maybe he'll do a one-word answer. But if you're in a conversation and you feel like he's not putting enough effort in and you're always having to do it first, I don't know if this is good advice, but I personally would maybe just withdraw a little bit of my energy. Not like,
no, I would as well.
Don't act so nonchalant, but you just want to see, like, is this reciprocated or is this not?
Exactly. I think a question I would ask as well is, are you talking about a conversation, like you're having a conversation, but you're the one asking all the questions? Or is it, you've replied to his story, you've had like a little conversation and then nothing happens. And then you're reaching out again. Because then
I would say leave it.
If it's that, and if you're the one that's constantly replying and constantly, then wait for him to reach out to you. But if it's a conversation and you're the one asking the questions, still I would say withdraw your energy a bit. But I don't know, I think withdraw your energy. You don't have time to waste. If they're not interested in you, then you don't want to be the person giving all of your energy.
No, 100%. I think just look at the conversation, because sometimes people aren't as good at asking questions and stuff. So it could just be that. So then you can see, though, if you like, oh, if I don't ask a question, is this conversation going to finish and are we never going to talk again?
Right.
Because if we're never going to talk again, then
I think
he's not that invested.
He's not, I think you should definitely do a test almost.
You have to.
It's bad, but you have to.
It sounds gamey, but it's actually... no. It's just like you have to just see, because you'll never know. If you're always asking questions, then you'll never know if he would actually...
If he's interested.
Yeah.
I think maybe... Don't do a thing where, you know, where everyone's like, oh, leave them on delivery for 3 days.
No,
like, don't do that, because that's gamey.
It is.
But just maybe let the conversation come to a natural end.
Yeah.
And then don't say anything. Don't try and initiate a new conversation.
So what are you doing today?
Like, Just let it be. And then if he goes, oh, what are you doing today? Then okay. But if it ends with someone liking a message, leave.
Sorry, liking a message.
Then it's time to Then it's time to leave that. And you know what? Rather than taking it as, oh, I'd spent my time investing in this person and they don't want me, take it as at least I know now.
Yeah, and I'm not wasting any more time.
Exactly.
Because you could go on for like a month and you're always like initiating stuff, and then he's just replying because just for the sake of it, really. So you want to know, and that just stops you wasting any more time.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but you got this.
You got this. Keep on going. We've all been there.
Everyone's been there. I feel like I'm always torn between hanging out with my friends and taking time for myself. Every time I try to have a solo night or focus on self-care, I feel guilty for not spending time with my friends. How do I find a balance that works for me?
That's
so short answer.
That's a really good. That's a good question, because I feel like a lot of us feel it.
No, 100%.
I think honestly, the only advice I can give you is to listen to yourself and listen to your mind and your body and see what you need, because of course going out to see friends, that should be a thing where it's recharging your batteries. You should feel rejuvenated after seeing your friends. But also, if you're extremely busy, the last thing you want to do is then go out and have to talk to someone for another 2 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Just because you're so tired and maybe you just need a night in. So then for the rest of the week, you can go and see friends.
Exactly. Take that time to chill if you need it. And I think if they're your friends, they're going to understand that.
I mean, we've all been there, because I said we're social because I feel like you are like, you know, you're good at like seeing people and being on, but like sometimes we all have that night where we're like, okay,
just want to chill.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Everyone understands it because we all feel like that at some point, no matter how extroverted you are.
Exactly.
Like I love seeing friends and like going out, but then I do need nights where I'm like, let's just stay home.
Yeah. And also I think it depends, what are you doing with your friends? Is this a thing where you're just, you know, meeting up with your friends, going for dinner, going for a coffee, or is this you're going to an activity with your friend, or like you're going clubbing with your friend?
Because clubbing could be exhausting.
Yeah. So I think it depends, because actually it was funny because I had I did a Galentine's thing last month, and one of my friends had just finished work and she was really, really tired, and she was like, you know what, I actually don't think I can come. Can we do another night? But she didn't realize my other friend was coming, so I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, we can do another thing, but so and so's already coming to the house. And she was like, okay, fine, like I'll come, because I don't want to obviously miss out on the thing. And she came, and she was so glad that she came. But it was such a chilled night. Like we sat there, we watched a movie, we just chatted, we were catching up on life. So I think that sort of thing, that can almost be quite nice, because it recharges your battery after a long day at work. Like you maybe just want that just to chat and chill with your friends. But of course, if we were then saying, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to go to the club, no. Like that's a bit much. Yeah, especially if you've had a long day. So I think it depends, because sometimes you can go and see your friends and it can really change your whole mood.
That is a good point, because it's a hard thing, because sometimes you should not push yourself, but like go out, because not go out, but go and meet your friends, because it will actually make you feel better. But then there is a line where sometimes you are just so exhausted and like you do just need to like chill. But like you said, it depends on the plan. But sometimes like if you do just like, even you're like, I don't want to leave the house, but you leave the house and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I saw that friend.
Yes.
It really does just like nourish your soul. So,
yeah. 100%. It's a balance. I think that's like our overarching thing. It's a balance. And listen to your mind, listen to your body. If you're just a bit tired and you're like, I can't be bothered, try and push yourself to do it. But if you're exhausted and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to even give anything to this conversation or give anything to this, because you're just there like, I wish I was at home, then don't go, because that's going to ruin it for everyone, not just yourself.
And you'll just feel a bit like, oh, why did I do that? Also, I would say, don't feel guilty. Also, it depends if are you someone who's always saying no, and maybe you should maybe like sometimes say yes to something, or are you someone who's constantly saying yes, constantly with friends? Like, don't feel guilty for just like saying no
every once in a while. Okay, another relationship one. I've been dating someone for a year, and everyone around me keeps asking when we're getting engaged or when we'll take the next step. That's intense. I love him, but I'm not ready for that kind of commitment yet. How do I manage these expectations from family and friends without feeling pressured? Girl. I mean, firstly, a year and you're getting engaged. Wow. You have a whole life together. I think a year is quite intense.
Sorry, that's just like...
Caught you off guard.
Caught me off guard, because it's just like, why are the friends and family paying so much?
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. A year.
I feel like that usually comes like if you've been with someone for 5
years.
And it's like, is he going to propose?
Yeah.
But after a year, like I feel like that's still quite fresh.
That's fresh. That's really fresh. That's, in my eyes, a new relationship.
But I guess families can be like, oh, if they see you together and they really love it, they're like, oh...
No, because also I think in terms of relationships, it takes a while to see someone like fully as themselves.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's only things that you can know about someone if you've spent a certain amount of time 100%. With something. And I think
living with them and stuff like that.
And a year. I mean, the thing is, that's not me hating on people who get married in under a year. That's because it depends on the relationship.
Everyone's timeline is different.
100%.
I just think it's like a bit intense for the family to be like, when are you getting married? When it's like,
I've just got into a relationship.
Like, yeah, literally. Yeah. But you can't take in the outside noise. Like, only you know your relationship. And that's a very normal time.
Yeah. I think it's hard because, especially with friends and family, obviously I think with relationships, people like to get advice from friends and family.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very normal thing of, he's doing this and this. And, you know, then you get the input of that, and obviously it's very easy to then listen to that noise, but you have to filter through it and be like, okay, this is their opinion, it's not fact. It doesn't mean that I have to get married on this date here.
No,
I'm living in the moment, sort of thing.
Living guys.
in the moment.
That is the quote I live by.
And enjoying it, and don't rush it, because I do think sometimes when you rush into things, then you can end up missing out on a lot, because you suddenly like skip stages because you're so eager to get there and to the next step. Then, you know, I don't know, you miss out on
like,
the
I wish
the
I
things.
kind of like spent longer in that space in our relationship when we were just getting to know each other and didn't rush things.
Exactly. And I think marriage, it's a very big commitment. It's legally binding.
Do you know, it would be different if you wanted that and you felt passionate about it, but it's just everybody else saying it. That's not really on your radar by the sounds of it. And like, that's very normal. I think it sounds like you can take a positive. Your friends and family seem to really like you guys together, and they're just so excited about it.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting like overwhelmed. They're like, "Oh, when are you?" Sorry, I just think that's so unhinged. Just asking
like, when are you getting married? I think no, but it also depends how old you, because you also get to the age where people are like, when are you having kids?
Like
when are you,
my mum and dad, because they met later on. Like they met when they were 30. Those things happen very quickly.
Yes,
it was like babies within like very quickly.
Yeah.
But then if you are like, you know, younger or our age, then
there's no rush.
And you've got loads of time at any age.
Yes, 100%.
But maybe that's why the pressure's there.
And I do think that, like, I feel like people who are at a certain age, it's not even just a thing that it happens quickly because you're like, okay, time's running out, but it's more of, you know what you want at that age.
Yeah.
Whereas at our age, like, we're still figuring things out.
Career stuff, everything's up in the air.
Yeah.
But just don't listen to they're your friends and family, and like just take it with a pinch of salt.
Exactly.
Just say, you know, I do want that in the future, but I'm not ready for that yet, and they will understand.
100%.
Like it's not like you've been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know? And it's okay to not be ready for that yet.
I think,
isn't it?
Yeah. Also, I think that's an important thing to touch on as well, because I feel like sometimes people will be like, I love this person so much, but I'm not ready for that. Does that make me a bad person? Does that mean I don't want to be with them?
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
Like, it just means that you're not ready for that big of a commitment right now, and that's totally okay. Like, you shouldn't feel bad about that.
I won't be getting married now. Like, it's okay. Yeah, you don't need to want that.
No.
Yeah. Live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
And just saying how to not feel pressured. I don't know. What would you say? I
think it's just what you said earlier.
Yeah.
It's take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
It's their opinion, it's not fact. Just don't.
And I can imagine,
like
you know, sometimes like if it's your grandparents, they can get quite excited. So just take it, and almost laughing at it is a bit like, I don't know if you can do that if you feel the pressure, but just feel, Don't think, oh my gosh, I have to get married.
Yeah.
No, you're in your own relationship.
Exactly.
They're not in it. Yeah. I skipped traditional university to pursue my creative career, but I've been doing okay. But now I'm wondering if I should go back and get a degree for stability. Am I setting myself up for failure if I don't? This is so interesting because I feel like we've had this dilemma in our personal lives.
Yeah.
And we've chosen not to in our cases.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I get it. Because initially you're like, okay, I'm not going to uni, that's fine. Like you don't really like deep it too much. You're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Then you have like a year or so and you're like, okay, but that option is there. Is that something I should consider?
Exactly.
I can do both.
Yeah, and I think as well, there's a pressure of times moving on. I mean, obviously, I would have potentially been going to uni, would have been 2 years ago now. My friends are all in second year.
Yeah.
And you do sometimes have those moments where you're like, oh, wow, my friends are graduating next year.
Yeah.
What am I doing? No, but we are doing things, but it's just different, you know? And you definitely can feel that, oh no, if this doesn't work out. Because also it does depend what you're doing. Obviously, like for us, we're in the creative industry.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily need to go to university for that. And, you know, there's apprenticeships, there's lots of different things that you can be doing, or you can just be getting on with work and doing it. And I think for us, that's what we really wanted to do, especially for this industry. We wanted to just kind of hit the ground running and not have to be training, you know, full time and not doing any work. We wanted to have the balance of doing both.
Yeah.
So I don't think that university is the be all or end all.
Not in today's society.
No. I would say one thing about university actually that my friends kind of have taught me really whilst being there is actually it's more to do with socially, like the independence that you gain from that. And, you know, you're living alone, you're living in a different city, depending on where you're going, maybe even a different country potentially. So it's more that social aspect. But if you're able to keep that up with, you know, just really putting yourself out there, going to events, going to, you know, different things, again, depending on what career, like for us, it's networking events, it's, you know, shows and things like that. But if you're still able to have that social aspect of making sure that you're continuing to grow, then I don't think that there's necessarily a problem with it. Of course, if you're saying now, I think I want to be a lawyer, I think I want to be a doctor, you're going to need to go to university.
Of course,
But it's dependent on your career choice.
100%. And when you're saying, am I setting myself up for failure if I don't?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Like it is, I don't know, I've heard many different journeys for different people. Like some people do go to uni and do creative stuff because they're like, okay, I want to do creative stuff, but I also like do want to have maybe another thing that can step me up, like stability wise. But definitely don't think you have to go. Like there's, like you said, there's so many things you can be doing. Or even like an apprenticeship, like you said, for stability. Like it doesn't have to be university. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that you have to. And you said something actually that really stuck with me. Think of this as the university time.
Yes.
So instead of like, wait, why am I not like at the end product? Maybe you're not making loads of money out of your creative passion or whatever you're doing. But nor are the people in university yet. They're not at their jobs. They're not. So actually we have this time, those 3 or 4 years people are in university for, to like be figuring it out, to be working, to be hustling, to be on that journey. So just because they're at uni, we're kind of at our own sort of university. So don't think, oh my gosh, it hasn't worked out yet. Should I just do that? If you want to go to university, do it. But if it's just out of fear, I would say no. No. Trust your gut.
Definitely. I can agree more. Yeah, the university of life
yes,
is where we are at. And and it's true. Like you just, those 3 or 4 years, as you said, that's when you're developing, that's when you're training. It's just in a different way to being in a lecture hall and taking down notes and doing assessments.
100%.
So yeah, don't feel, I'm not anti-uni, but I'm also not pro-uni. I'm very indifferent by it, to be honest.
No, because you hear a lot of people in the creative industry who are like, hate uni, and I'm like, I understand it.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends who go and so do you.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
No. There's this guy I've been seeing for a few months. We've been on dates, but we haven't had the what are we conversation yet.
Oh no.
I'm not sure if he's seeing other people, but I'm afraid to ask because I don't want to seem too clingy. How do I navigate this situation without ruining things? Well, haven't we all been there?
Straight out of the bank.
Oh gosh, yeah.
One thing that I heard and I have taken with me is that we should never need that conversation. However, I know everybody's situations are different, but if it's like a thing where, okay, maybe in a few weeks you might be like, what are we? But if it's months and months and you're still like, what are we?
Yeah.
You shouldn't really have to ask someone like, what are we? Like, do I mean something to you? Yeah, I mean, in terms of seeing other people, that's a very normal thing to bring up, being like, oh, like, are we exclusive? Or
are we on Love Island?
But I just don't think you should have to say to someone like, what are we? I heard once that some guy was saying the way to do it is that you should say like, oh, somebody asked me the other day, like, who's that to you? Or like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I was just wondering what I should say to that question.
No, that's very valid.
That. Like, oh, what do I say to that question? Like, do I have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Is it to say not in a way what like,
well, what are we? It smells good. So, my opinion on the whole thing is you need to have the conversation, but again, what are we is a very, I would have that conversation. I don't know. I think it depends where you're at in that relationship.
Yeah,
as you said.
Months out, like 6 months.
6 months, no. But then also 6 months, they should have asked you to be their girlfriend by then or boyfriend or whatever. But, you know, I feel like it depends because actually some of my friends, they're in relationships and their partner never asked them to be. It just happened. Yeah. It depends what kind of person you are, I guess. But I think in those beginning stages, if you're someone who's going into something and you're like, no, okay, I want this long term, and you don't know if they're kind of in it for a bit of fun, you need to have that conversation with 100%. Them because you don't want to waste your time. I don't think you necessarily need to say, okay, what are we? Because again, it seems very dramatic. But I think you need to maybe say, where do you see? I mean, it's the exact same thing, basically. But where do you see it going?
Are you looking for something serious? That's such a normal question 100%. To ask. It's not an intense question.
Yeah.
Because if you say no, okay, that's cool. That's not what I'm looking for, and that's fine.
We can part ways.
But I know what you mean. Rather than just like talking to someone every day, and then it's like, oh, like you never saw this going somewhere.
But then also don't let that question be on your mind for long.
No.
Because I think if that question's on your mind, this is going to sound bad, but in my personal experience, if that question's been on my mind, it usually means it's because our ideas aren't aligned.
Yes. And if it's really playing on your mind.
Yeah, if it's really playing on your mind.
It's intuition saying,
something's not right here.
That's when I said we don't need to have the conversation. I feel like you know if somebody's serious from their energy.
You can, energy's a really big thing, and you can tell if someone wants to see you, if someone like actually is putting in the effort, or if it's kind of like, they're here, I enjoy talking to them, but I don't actually see this going anywhere.
Have you asked me to go out soon and stuff like that? But it's hard when you like someone, because I think that's more when the question comes up, because you're like, no, I don't want to let this go. Like, we're having good conversation.
Yeah. Also, you should feel comfortable to have that conversation if you need to have that conversation, because just never let yourself be in a position where you're wondering and where you don't know. As we said, it's the energy. Also, like no one has time to waste in this day and age. No. We're all busy people.
We certainly don't.
No, we don't. Like, I think a problem with our generation, I hope I don't go on a rant.
Bold
but the problem with our generation is a lack of communication.
We talk about this so much.
All the time.
It's so clear.
Yeah.
We have a bad communication.
Yeah. I think obviously on the first day of talking to someone, you're not going to be like, okay, by the way, I want to marry you. I want because I forgot I do that. I'm a changed and developed woman now. But usually on the first, you got to give it, how long are we giving it before you...
This is a good question.
Yeah. Because how long is it before it's like, okay... Also, this is a different question. How long before you know you're talking to someone?
Yeah.
Because you can't be asking someone within the first 3 days, what are we? Because that's so intense. They don't even know you. Do you know what I mean? Within 3 days.
I think, for me, like, in terms of talking, like, I'm quite an in-person type of person. I feel like if you can get that moving as quickly as possible in terms of like, let's meet up, get to know each other. And then how long? Like how many?
Well, I think if you've gone on a... If you've... Okay, because first date, you're both trying to get to know each other. Yeah. So something's going on, but you're not necessarily a thing. But something's going on for sure. If you're saying, I want to meet you again, I'm thinking that's a thing. Yeah. Because it's like... Okay, I'm not saying you're locked off, but you're interested in exactly. Situation. So you can, I would say then you could probably say, I think you could say, don't say like, what are we, like, as in, are you my boyfriend? Are we exclusive? That's intense. But like, what do you want from this? Yeah. Do you want something serious? Do you just want to go on a few dates and like see, like, or do you actually want?
Cool. See ya.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, actually, I just want to go on a few dates, just have a friend. Bye. But you need to see, because otherwise I promise you will get to a position where you think it's going to be something and they're just going to turn around and be like, oh, you caught feelings.
But it's true, because going back to the communication problem, like if two people don't communicate, like not necessarily what are we, but like what's going on, what they see, and they're just talking every day, then how long does that go on for? Like you said, you could get attached, the other person's not attached. So
also, how often it's kind of going back to the first question, the original dilemma of starting the conversation. How often are you talking? Is it a thing of I'm talking to you once a day, having a brief catch up, or is it you're talking all day every day?
Yeah, I think all day every day, like we are a thing.
You're a thing because okay, this is a question to ask yourself. If they haven't replied in a few hours, are you like, where are they? If you're noticing the absence, it was funny, I had this conversation with my friend the other day, and we were talking about it, and she was like, listen, you're my close friend, But if I don't hear from you in 2 days, I'm not worrying. It's fine. If I haven't heard from you in a week, 2 weeks, I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? Is she okay?
Yeah.
But if I haven't heard from you in 2 days,
Like,
it's
you're
not
busy,
on my mind. Like, I'm just thinking, okay, cool. Now, if I haven't heard from so-and-so in 2 days, I'm thinking, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
And that just shows that you're
more attached than you think. Yeah, you're invested. And when you're invested, you need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get hurt.
Just to save your time as well. Like, if it's not going anywhere, it's better to know.
Yeah.
The truth hurts, but you need it.
What's that thing
Your
we
favourite
said?
quote.
My favorite Khloe Kardashian quote: "The truth hurts one time, a lie hurts 7,000 times." You don't want to get hurt. You really don't.
Some people can be quite like, they're not the most communicative, and they can just be like, oh, I'm talking to this person every day, and never really establish, like, some people are very like, I feel like this, right?
Yeah.
Guys or girls are very much, I feel like this about you. They make it so clear.
Yeah.
But if it's not being clear, then what?
Also, though, I have a question which is quite interesting. In the reverse of that, to play devil's advocate, what happens if from day one they're like, no, I found my wife. This
Love
is you.
bombing.
Love bombing. That's something else to look at. So what is the healthy balance? What
Love
is the
bombing
healthy...
is like...
It's real.
It's real?
It's real. So like when do you...
I think a normal progression, it's not what is normal, I guess. But like, it's just very much like you get to know each other, you go on dates and it gets more, and then that conversation naturally comes up. But unfortunately, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. People on such different timelines.
Like, yeah. I don't know. Things can grow. Let things grow as well and just live in the moment. Don't be so like,
don't be so worried. Like, it's hard because I say that. But on the flip side of that, I also know what it's like to be like, I just want to know. Like, I'd rather know now.
Yeah.
So it's hard because you can only do that if you don't like someone from the start. Like, if you're not that interested at the start, then you're like, okay, let me see how it goes.
If you don't, like, if you're not so invested in someone in the start, sometimes it sometimes can end up working out better because sometimes when you're so like, from the start, there's a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah. Because you think that's your dream person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But just live in the moment, get to know someone. Just do acknowledge their energy because sometimes I think when we mostly do want the what are we situation, it's because really we're in denial of, okay, maybe this person's actually not showing me energy, but there's some good parts to them. And we have good conversations and we get along and we have a connection. But at the same time, have they asked to meet me? Do they want it? Like, are they being persistent with that? Not really.
Yeah.
But yeah.
100%.
But sometimes it's not enough to just see that and be like, oh no, you do need to ask.
You need to ask. Like, also,
Just
that's
to
another
know,
thing.
get clarity.
Don't be the type of person that just completely cuts it off straight away without asking the question. Because you know what? It could be a thing where someone just isn't good on message or like is genuinely busy or has something going on and you might not be at that stage.
People have their own lives,
exactly like you might not be in that stage in the, when I say relationship, I don't mean boyfriend and girlfriend, I just mean your relationship with them. You might not be in that stage in the relationship for them to want to completely open up to you and say, hey, I've got this going on at the moment, give me a bit of time. So, you know, have that conversation, don't cut it off before you get the answer. But also, because I think actually at the start I was saying that conversation is a bit intense, but no, I don't think it is. I think it's important to have. I think it's necessary to have.
It's true. I mean, what's the alternative, I guess, if you're not having it? Like, obviously, you would hope that you don't have to have that conversation and things are just
and you just
natural.
know.
But if it's not that way, do have it because otherwise, in our minds, we overthink stuff so much. Like I think most people do. So it's better to just know, isn't it, rather than like let your mind spiral like positively or negatively. You know? So.
What do you think about the exclusive argument?
What do you mean, like exclusive but not in a relationship?
Yeah.
Well, you are in a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? What is this exclusive?
Yeah. I feel like I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out, but I just actually don't really get it at all. Because if you are exclusive, surely you're not seeing someone. I guess maybe it's no, I'm investing my time and energy in you right now, but I'm not 100% sure if you're like 100% the one. Yeah. Well, that's kind of harsh. But do you know what I mean? Like I really want to, this is what I'm thinking it is. Yeah. I'm thinking I like where this is going with you. Yeah. I don't want to add anyone to the mix because that's just too much. Like I want to focus my energy on you. I want to put 100% into you, but I'm not saying that I 100% know I want this to be a thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is.
I think it depends also how you see, because some people, if you're really dating to marry and you're like, okay, once I make someone my boyfriend or my girlfriend, like that is so
that's locked
in.
Yeah,
Then I think that's where this exclusive thing comes from. But I mean, if you talk to an older generation and you tell them about exclusive, they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like your boyfriend and girlfriend, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess sometimes it comes up to just let you know, like, oh, I'm not seeing other people, like,
yeah.
You're not seeing other people?
Yeah. what would you do though? Imagine, I'd have a heart attack. No, that would stress me out. Be like, oh, so are you seeing other people? Yeah, because the thing is, you can't say anything at that point because you haven't had that conversation. But you'll just be like, oh my gosh, like, are you being sick? Because do you know what my worst fear is? Imagine you go out, and you're just with your friends, and then you bump into them with someone, and you're like, what is this? They're like, oh yeah, I'm just going on a date with so and so. You're like, okay. What do you do?
That's quite like I'm out. But
same,
I think I can be a bit not harsh, but like.
No, because I take that as cheating. It's not because you're just talking, but like
depends. You know who you are. If you're a super casual person, cool, we're just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be that babe.
Yeah. Do you know what? Also, again, it goes back to the what are we? Because I think if you've just been messaging and they're messaging a few other people, I feel like people do that.
Yeah.
If you're dating someone and they're dating, but people do that too.
People
just
do
not
that.
me.
Just know who you are as a person.
Yeah,
if that's not
yeah.
something you want, make it clear.
Yeah, and don't because you really like someone.
Like, I'm the cool girl. Like,
don't force yourself to fit in that box. Don't force yourself to be like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I can do that too. If that's not for you, that's not for you. And if that is for you, that is for you. You know, like
that is a danger when you like someone. I actually had this situation that somebody had. And the boyfriend was saying, like, basically, he never had that time to be single. And he said before, I don't really want to be in a relationship, but it just happened, right? Mm-hmm. He ended up in a relationship. He said, I'm going on a Europe trip with my family. Like, I kind of do want a hall pass, you know? I just want to get with someone. But, like, you know, I still love you and everything.
Right.
And she said, he convinced her so much because she liked him so much. And you find that situation so normalized. And she was going, maybe it is a thing and he just gets it out of his system. But you know how you can normalize thing when you like someone. Like, obviously us hearing it, we're like, that's insane. Like, just leave him, right? But like, just be careful that you're not like, oh yeah, because you like that person so much, you kind of are willing to make so many sacrifices to make it work. Like, don't let go of your pride. But yeah, don't convince yourself you're that casual girl if you're not that casual girl.
No.
You're a lover girl and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's beautiful, actually.
Yeah. And also, I think it's hard because especially if you've made it clear that they're the only one for you, then in a way, not that they're taking advantage of it, but you know when you know someone likes you more than you like them, or like when they like you more, then I think that's a very dangerous game when you can clearly see that, because people can take advantage of that and be like, she likes me, he likes me, it's cool, like I can... she'll be there, basically. And you don't want to be in that position where they think they can do whatever because you'll still be there for them no matter what. No. Let your boundaries be known. And if that's crossed, walk away.
100%. Boundaries are very important. Like, if you're like, I'm dedicated to you and they're like, oh, I'm not there yet. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, how long do you need to get there? Like, do you not know me? Yeah, like, why are you not dedicated to me?
If I'm at that stage and you're not, like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah. Well,
this is about immediately, though. I'm just talking about if you've got to know.
Because also, I think there is a thing of people will feel things at different times. Because, you know, what's that phrase? The wise old the tailor's old time. I don't know. I don't even know what the phrase is. Yeah. She fell first, he fell harder, or like he fell first, she fell hard. So sometimes actually, just because they're not as intense first, doesn't mean that it won't flip and they'll actually be the one to like you more. Yeah. But there does need to be a level of respect. I think that's the word. It's respect. Yeah, it's respect.
Like, not you with everyone in town.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because that's just embarrassing for you.
Literally.
Like, don't let your pride fall for anyone. Don't let your feelings get ahead of your pride.
Like, I always think there's a thing, don't be prideful, but keep your pride intact.
Pride and ego are very interchangeable.
Exactly. Like, if you're too ego with it, but keep your pride intact in your morals and things that are important to you. But I know we do have a thing that we're not willing to compromise at all in this generation, which I think is a little bit too much. Like, if he's not doing this and this and this and this and this and this, then no. Like, No, obviously keep your pride in your standards.
Yeah.
But be understanding, right?
Well, this is a thing as well, because I feel like I talk about sometimes the idea of perfection. Because there's someone...
I'm a perfectionist.
Everyone has this list of standards, right? Whether it's subconscious or you actually have a physical list.
App.
Yeah, a notes app list.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the perfect partner.
Yeah.
But there's perfect and then there's perfect for you. You have to understand that this person is a person.
Is
human.
Are you perfect? Are you the perfect partner or no?
Exactly. Main thing I will say is that your morals have to be aligned. I'm going so off topic from what the actual dilemma was.
It's an interesting conversation.
But you have to have, if you're in a relationship, your morals have to be aligned, because those are the fundamentals of what makes you, right?
Never compromise your values.
Never compromise your values. However, if there's something that they do here and there, you can get over that. Like, that's just you being picky.
Yeah.
But if they have different views of the world,
those problems are always going to arise.
Don't
overlook them, because sometimes the reasons, the red flags in the beginning of the reason the relationship ends.
Yes!
People
My
always
mum
say
said this to me.
The things that you're like, oh, like in the thing, he's a bit like this, or
we
don't see eye to eye on this, and you're like, oh, but it's
fine,
not, don't worry about it too much. Later, it will come up.
It will be the thing that bugs you the most.
I even remember Grey's Anatomy, Christina, and that guy, the one who I saw on the plane.
Yeah, Owen.
And obviously this is quite a big thing, but at the start they were like, she was like, okay, I don't want kids, and he was like, okay, I do kind of, but maybe that's fine, maybe I don't want kids.
Kids is such
Later,
a bit,
that broke their relationship up, because that is something that will come up in the future.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I like them now. Like, oh, I like this person, I'm not worried. Mm-hmm. Those red flags are going to come back.
Well, that's the thing. When we
if
say...
he's a bit manipulative. Or,
yeah.
like
when
the gaslighter.
Yeah. When we say... Because obviously earlier we said live in the moment. But when we say that, we don't mean ignore everything.
Up.
Yeah. We mean like enjoy the time, see where it goes. Don't put so much pressure on it to be like, okay, this is where I need to be in the next 5 years. I need to be with this person, this, that, and the other. But also don't... Yeah, if they've done some things where you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that, then, or if just the kids, I think kids is a really big thing. And also, this idea, I feel like a lot of people are like, let me be with them because I can be the one to change them. I can be the one to fix them. No.
Don't, like, people can change, but people, like, you don't be the one to say, I have to change someone, and it's never going to work. Like,
and also, you shouldn't have to change someone. You should love them for them. Yeah.
They wanted to.
100%.
And that's them.
Yeah.
And they'll find someone who loves them that way. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. If there's things that you're like, I really need to change about the person, you're not going to, it's just going to cause issues.
Yeah. Sorry, that was so off tangent.
Yeah. No, it was interesting. I was like, there's so many things to think about with relationships and getting into new things.
Yeah.
Meeting a new person.
And also, disclaimer, like, this is not, what we're saying is not fact. This is just our opinion. We're not relationship experts.
Definitely not. I'm definitely
But, like, this is just our opinion and obviously, like, what we've seen and experienced.
Yeah.
For sure.
So take it with a pinch of salt.
Always. Young and unscripted after all.
We are very unscripted today. I recently found out that my boyfriend still talks to his ex. Sorry.
This one, no, I think this, no, I used to think that,
and
but
they
I
seem
actually have...
really friendly.
Oh, right.
I trust him, but it makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to seem controlling, but I feel insecure. Should I bring it up or just let it go? We always say, like, how far ago is the ex?
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I remember actually being sat with a group of people and they were saying, oh, do you think an ex can be a friend? Someone was like, no, you there's so many other friends. Why do you need your ex as your bestie? Someone was like, no, I would take them out for dinner. I would, it's a big part of your life. It's fine if my girlfriend does that too. Sorry. No. Why is my boyfriend taking a woman out for dinner? I don't understand.
Taking out for dinner is wild.
Was in love with. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the reason why I think...
You would definitely be friendly with your ex.
I'm friendly.
Not like, friendly, like where you're like seeing them all the time.
No.
You leave things on good terms.
Yeah. I'm very much a person of like, I don't like to leave anything on bad terms. Things can end, cool, but no bad blood,
No,
like,
I agree on
we're
that.
too grown for that. So my reasoning for saying that this might not be a problem, maybe I'm the red flag, no, I'm joking. But the reason why I think this is not a problem is because they're an ex for a reason. And there are so many situations that I've seen where People are really good friends. They're like, let's give this a try. Like, maybe this can work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work romantically, but that doesn't mean that they're not good friends and that they still have a bond. Taking for dinner, no. You don't take your ex for dinner. That's crazy. Especially if you have a girlfriend, no. Actually, this is a lot of people who've said this to me recently.
Yeah.
People are in the same friendship groups as their exes.
People do, yeah.
So they're going to bump into them and they're going to be friends, but that doesn't mean...
But, Sienna, how do you feel about this? Wait. I'm just... Sorry. Ask me what I'm looking at.
What are you looking at?
I was just like, ex, he sent me this. Like, you know, like, I
get you.
It's all a nice thought, and I do agree, but I think
so true.
It depends what you're comfortable with. Like, if I was with someone and he kept like, oh, I'm seeing her name pop up on his phone regularly.
So true.
That's just irritating.
Sorry, I'm just delusional and I live in like a fantasy world.
No, I think there's a difference between being on good terms, like if you saw
see
them, you're like,
them.
oh hi. Or something like that. But if she's saying talks to his ex, like you need to be in that much contact. Also, I feel like it's different when you're older and like say you were like married, or that's very different.
Yeah.
But at our age, like if it's a recent ex.
Exactly, how long ago was the ex?
And she broke your heart and you wanted to be with her?
How did it end?
No.
Always ask that question. How did it end? Because if they're saying...
Why are you smiling at your
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why are you giggling, kicking your feet? Like, please. I think, do you know what it is? If it ended mutual, we grew apart.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
Still, no dinner, please. But like, that's fine. Like, I feel like a lot of people are friends with people, but different, because if you're friends with someone it didn't work out with, but also there's a talking stage friends and there's a relationship. They've seen you in a different way, this relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, relationship is a funny one because there's going to be a lot of feelings attached to it. And again, how did it end? Because if she broke your heart, I'm sorry, she can't be coming round to mine for a roast dinner. Like, that's really random. But do you know what I mean? Like, she can't be like, oh, I'm just going to have so-and-so over tonight. Like, just, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's giving past lives, isn't it?
Gosh, friendly is hard.
The thing is, one thing I think is kind of going back to the you can't change someone. I would never really want to be someone who's like, you can't do this, Like, if he's going to be friends with his... Oh, I don't know. You can voice it and be like, okay, I don't love when you do that. But if he is going to be doing that, maybe that's not the person for you if you feel that uncomfortable about it.
I think if
he's like, this is going to be someone in my life forever.
Oh, no. No, because I've seen people do that, you know. They're like, just to let you know, we're not together, but they are important. No,
they will always be a part of my life. How many people are there in this relationship?
No, because also there's just kind of the given. If you're not someone's first relationship, if you're not someone's first love, it's the given that you know that this person's always going to hold a place in their heart, you know? Like, so to have that rubbed in your face the whole time, that's not nice. And I feel like they should understand that that's going to make you feel a like certain type of way, because you're already insecure. I don't know if that's the right word, but you're already conscious of the fact that maybe all of these things you're experiencing with this person for the first time 100%, but they've experienced that with someone else before. Yeah. So you're already aware of that. So then to have that person there all the time. But I think it's different because if you're in the same friendship group and you have like 10 people in your friendship group and they're friends, but you know, there's always people in a friendship group who are close. So you have your duo. If they're the duo in the friendship group, no. But if they're like if they're friendly, friendly's okay, I think.
I think that's fine. It's just when you're saying talks to his ex, I'm just like, regularly, like, are they texting regularly? I'm like, is that necessary? But I know people did, like, say if they dated, like, literally in secondary school and they're like, oh, like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's all about going back to that thing of, like, what are you okay with? And you're clearly kind of like, this doesn't sit well with you.
No.
And it's making you uncomfortable, maybe to the point where they are speaking quite regularly.
Yeah.
I don't like that person.
No, I don't like it.
I don't know. It depends on the person.
I think it's very easy to sit here on my high horse now and be like, that wouldn't bother me. But I know if that was happening, I'd be like, what?
I think even though I'm quite like, I keep good terms with people, but I don't think I would be someone who would keep in regular contact with an ex if I was in a new relationship.
Yeah,
I think that would make me feel uncomfortable. I'd be like, oh, I'm with someone, but I'm still like texting my ex all the time. Like, that's not something I would do. So I expect from a partner them to not also do that. If you're someone who's like, I'm friends with my ex, so it doesn't bother me, and you have that experience, you know what it's like, and you're like, oh, so I don't mind if they are, then fine.
Another situation which I think can be interesting then, what happens if their ex is your friend? Then what do you do?
Wait, sorry? What?
So imagine I'm going out with someone.
Yeah.
We end on good terms, we're cool.
Yeah.
Not that this would happen because we're so close, so it wouldn't. But like 5 years later, not even 3 years later, you're going out with them. I'm like, that's so cool. You go out with them. You guys having a great time. Then they're in contact with me because of you.
This is messy.
Messy.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And I thought it didn't really happen, but I've actually heard about a lot of things happening like this.
Okay.
And you see it like as well, like when you're like, oh yeah, I used to go out of my... I think actually in the older generation sounds crazy, but like people would just go out with like...
a girl at school, her dad had actually dated the mum's sister.
Yeah,
but like
this happened at school. Yeah.
And like it just wasn't right.
Yeah.
I think what I've learned is situations are so nuanced and things that I thought immediately no. Like sometimes it is more complicated than that. And I wouldn't willingly really want to be in that situation, to be honest.
No.
I mean, who does?
My gosh.
That's just like...
stressful.
Do you know what it is? I think with me, I'd just be thinking of like all the intimate... You shouldn't be thinking that, but all the intimate moments you shared together, and you guys had so much love for each other, and like you fell deeply in love, and I'm just thinking about it at 12 a.m. No, but like I don't know. I don't know how okay I am with all of that.
Yeah.
How about you? Like,
no,
so you're dating
your ex,
and then I'm like, oh, like I'm sending him TikToks. So we're like laughing. But
yeah,
it's all about you. Like you're very in the loop. It's not like hidden.
Yeah. Like you're in. I think this is the thing. Like you have to be in the loop.
But we dated for like a year.
This is the thing. I would still feel very awkward about it. Intense relationships are hard.
Oh, they are. It's so complicated, isn't it? And it's all what different people are okay with.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, and also if you have a very like open communication, like because you're here saying that like, oh, I don't want to be controlling. Should I bring it up? So you kind of don't feel comfortable to talk about it.
But you have to. Again, it's like the what are we? If you're feeling confused and if you're feeling uncomfortable, tell them.
He thinks you're cool with it. He's showing you the...
Well, this is the thing. At least he's not hiding it. That's a different story. Yeah. He's clearly just friends with her. But I understand.
He doesn't know it makes you uncomfortable at this point. Yeah. So he's not stopping. Yeah. He doesn't even know he's crossed your boundary.
Exactly. So it's a very innocent thing. It's not like he's cheating on you. It's not like he's trying to, make you uncomfortable. He's unaware of it.
Just start with bringing it up and see if he acts all really defensive about it. If he's willing to be like, okay, that makes you uncomfortable. Like, okay, I don't really need to be speaking to her all the time. We're cool. But if he's like, no, like, that's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah, that's like, huge red flag.
Huge red flag.
Huge. Oh, actually then, on the back of that, so what do you think about girl best friends? Because that's not someone that you've shared a relationship with, but they're obviously very close to you.
Okay, I've heard a lot of things about that. Best friends, like, I don't want to sound toxic. No, because girls and boys can be friends, but best friends where you're seeing them regularly and you're meeting up with them one-on-one. Like, I'm your best friend.
Yeah, I hear that.
But I think it does happen, and if they're there before you, I can't, like, say to someone... don't have that best friend. Like they're your best friend and like you can just be friends with somebody. But I think someone said, I heard this once, it's like, if it's a thing where like you can meet them and it's all fine, if he's very much, I don't want you guys to meet.
What's going on?
Like, is there a connection that you don't want me to see? But if it's very much like, oh, she can come around, I'm here, like we're kind of cool as well. Yeah.
I think my opinion on it is, as you said, if they're there before you, I don't really have a place to say because that's your best friend.
Yeah, I can't tell you to pick. Pick
between.
Friend. I'm new here.
Like. But if this girl best friends come up while we're in a relationship, sorry, like how did that happen? Am I not your best friend?
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, like how did that happen? How could you be someone's best friend but I was here first?
Oh, she's so cool.
Okay, go with her then. Like
no, that's just random. Like
that's
how you got a best friend.
But
people do have childhood best friends.
Exactly.
I don't really have a guy best friend, so it's hard for me to like.
Well, this is the thing. Like all of my best friends are girls.
Yeah.
But I have close guy friends that if someone said to me, you can't talk to them, I'd be like, are you okay?
Yeah,
like, I'd be
we
like,
seem a
not
bit
being funny there.
controlling.
Yeah. Because also, you know as well, like, there's nothing going on. If they're my friend, like, I'm not going to cut them off. I'm sorry.
No, literally. Yeah. I think you just know from the situation, like, if it's just seeming a bit like, I don't know.
Also, what are you doing with that friend? Like, are they coming over to watch a movie with you late at night? Cool. Never again.
Staying over. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Also, childhood.
Giving friends to lovers then.
Yeah. I'm just like watching it. Yeah. Like, what is this?
But like, if you guys are, you grew up together, you're literally friends. Like, that's like a sister to you then.
Exactly, because people have that. Yeah. I'm always comparing myself to other girls, especially on social media. I try to love my body, but it's hard when I feel like I'm not living up to the ideal. Mm-hmm. How do I stop comparing myself to others and start appreciating what I have?
I'm starting with one thing. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
Like, it's so hard. We hear just don't compare yourselves. Mm-hmm. And do you know what? It's been made so hard because of social media, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's just so, but you are not anyone else, so just don't compare yourself. But it's such an easy thing to say, and we all do it. We all just say, they are so perfect, you know? But then you just don't see all the things that you have, and you do have so much. Mm-hmm. What would you say?
It's hard because, I feel like we can both say, like, we've both been in that position. I'm pretty much in that position every day where you're like, oh, why don't I look like this?
Same.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
It's so easy to compare yourself. And you know what? It's not even pinpointing one person and be like, why don't I look like them? But it's just obviously, I guess, a standard that you see and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not there. But also, as you said, you are you. You also have to ask yourself, what lifestyle does someone live to be able to make... Some people just are the way they are and you really admire them just because they are the way. There are some people that in order to look a certain way, there are a lot of sacrifices that are made for that. And good on them for that. Like, if you want to make those sacrifices, cool. For example, okay, someone's like your dream body, yeah? But they are waking up every morning at 5 a.m. going to the gym, like really watching what they're eating, very just like in there. And that's amazing for them. That's great. But are you going to do the same thing? Because if someone told me the same thing, you can get there, Sienna, but this is what you have to do. I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. every day to do it. How much does it mean to you? Is it just, cool, I'd like to look like that? Or is it, no, actually I value more what's inside? And I think you have to value what is inside first and foremost. And of course, the gym and things like that actually, it's proven to help with mental health and stuff like that. Like it does. It's a release. You're working on something, you feel good after it. It's good endorphins, of course. Yeah. But also you just have to understand that it's not just they woke up and they look like that. Some people, cool, but not everyone.
No, 100%. And people are even getting surgeries and stuff. Like,
of course,
in this modern age, like, what I know you hear so many times, Instagram is a highlight reel and all of that. And I hear it, I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, if like my mum says that, I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
But it is true.
Yeah.
Like, you are just yourself.
Exactly.
And it's hard to accept that sometimes. But like, there's a difference between if you want to improve yourself, take care of your skin, whatever, do things like that. If you want to do it, not just because you want to be someone else, but you want to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
But if you like think I'm being like, oh my gosh, I want to improve myself so much. Because I had that thing where I was like, I just want to improve myself. But I was like, why do I actually I'm pushing myself a bit too much?
Yeah.
Is it from insecurity?
Yeah.
Yes. Or is it coming from a place of self-love?
I think also
it's such a hard age to be in, like, social media and stuff.
It's very, because everything's just getting like thrown in your face,
literally, without you even realizing it.
Yeah, I think
we're so consumed in other people's lives and we don't even realize.
Yeah, I feel like something that's very important to touch on as well is that bodies change, and I think that as you get older and as you're going through things, or there might be a part in your life when you're like really active and you look like this, and then suddenly you don't feel as good, and and even with like just girls in general, depending
Hormones.
on it's very hard. And sometimes you might wake up and be like, cool, like I'm look good today, and then the next day you're like, oh my gosh, like what's going on. So I think also just appreciate your body for supporting it supports you
so much for you.
Yeah. And just there'll be so many people who wish that they look like, think about this. Think about when you're 90. I saw this actually. It was like a thread on something. when you're 90, you will look back on the pictures of you today and be like, oh my gosh, look, I could walk for miles without my feet hurting.
Yeah.
I could wear that short little dress. I could, and you will appreciate it so much more as you get older. And I know now it's hard to see because you're comparing people to probably who are the same age as you and you're like, okay, why don't I look? But I don't know, like
just appreciate
what you have. Yeah.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? But just try. And because you are like so young and your body's functioning. But I mean, body image is so difficult.
It's a hard topic, isn't it? Because as I say, like
everyone has their own insecurities.
Exactly.
Every single person. And I think like even because I sometimes feel pressure because of what I also want to go into, like, acting and modeling.
Oh my god.
Like people are like, oh, you're a model, you should do this type of thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's kind of that added pressure.
Yeah.
Because yes, there's still this front of be who you are. But then it's like, if you're getting paid to look a certain way, you're
exactly.
Suddenly how you look becomes slightly important when it,
well, that's the whole thing about modeling. It's based on your looks. And I feel like it's probably been these past 2 years have been the most aware that I've been of what I look like, because I am so like, you're seeing all of these models and you're seeing the models who are working, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, I don't look like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And you know what? It does become a bit of a like, okay, yeah, there is a certain maintenance in the same way as, if you're a mathematician, you're going to need to revise some math sums. For a model, you probably do need to go to the gym,
Yeah, probably you take care of your skin and your hair. Like, it's kind of things you have to do.
Yeah, which is hard, but it's
so
the reality of it, isn't
Yeah.
it? And, it's something that is important to talk about because it makes you very aware of.
I think sometimes I honestly feel that added pressure because of that. And I wonder if I wasn't going into an industry like that. Obviously, I think everyone still feels those pressures.
Of course.
But would I be like, thinking about it like, oh, I don't know.
Because everyone automatically as well, it's not just going into that industry. It's when someone says to you, what do you do? You're like, I'm a model.
I can't even say it. I'm like,
yeah, no, literally. When people ask you, like, I'm like, she's a model.
No, because I'm like, oh, like,
yeah.
Because in my head, I have a certain, like, I guess, way of what a model, like, I don't know. I just feel
I
like,
think my worst fear would be if I told someone that. And they go, oh, really? No, because I'd never get up again.
No, I'm sorry. We see like lots of different types of people in the modeling industry, and it is changing.
Oh, 100%.
But at the same time, because of social media, we also do see so many perfect.
Well, of course,
people.
because I think as well, modeling, it's a changing industry for sure. But when you think of a model, you think of a supermodel, right? They all look like there's a certain way that a supermodel looks.
That's the look,
and that's the industry, and that's not me here criticizing the industry because, like, that's just what it is.
Sometimes the pressure gets a lot, but you do just have to shake it off, because if you thought about it every day, it would debilitate you and you would never do anything. Honestly, be so kind to yourself, because I think we can be so harsh on ourselves. Also, I think we're getting a lot of like healthy content on social media. Like, I do this. Like, why is everyone waking up at 5 a.m. doing Pilates and then like doing a gym session? And it's like 8
it's a lot.
Yeah. But just be so kind to yourself, and like somebody will want you for you.
100%.
Like your look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is like self-love is the most important love. And of course that is so cliche. But it's cliche because it's true.
It's
so true. No one is going to love you if you can't love yourself first. And going back to all of these relationship things we've been talking about, all of that stuff, if you're not secure within yourself, you open yourself up to a new level of vulnerability, because you then allow people to change your mind about things and to like have their thoughts really influence you. But if you know, okay, like I'm secure in myself.
And I'm worthy and
I'm worthy, exactly. Then you're going to have a much healthier relationship with yourself and with others, not just relationships, but like friendships and, work relationship, like all of these different things. It's going to be a lot healthier if you've started with the root being you.
Gosh, guys,
just love yourself, please. If there's anything you do in this world, is love yourself, because you're the only person that you can count on, and I'm sorry, that's a bit deep, like you're it is like you're the only person that's going to consistently be there for you. So don't let that fall and don't let that fail, and just
it's the highest frequencies. Once you love yourself, everything's going to come into your life.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to end on that message.
But I really enjoyed this episode. We love the girl talks.
We love it. So
we
keep
love
on sending
it.
in your dilemmas.
Yeah, please send in your dilemmas. We can't wait to unpack them all next time. Well, we will see you next week on Young and Unscripted. Bye, guys.